Hey, welcome to the what?
What it do? Oh, I
back
always
in the
do,
building.
I
We
always
back
do
in
the
the building,
Paul
baby.
Wow when we start. Every time we come on, I be like, what it do? I'm trying to get something new coming out. Next time I'll be like, you want a king of the jungle? Welcome to another episode of Trash Talk with Bobby and Shine. That's Bobby on Shine. We about to do some living today. Had to
We
get his
always
blood
doing
pressure up before
living.
we get started.
God,
Do a
damn,
lot
we
of
always-
living. Blood pressure already up. Hey, look, let's go talk about a little UFC 277. That was the most interesting ass whooping I ever seen in my life.
Man, it was, boy. It was, boy.
We're gonna talk a little bit about that. We're gonna talk about UFC 277 as a whole, early stoppages, things like that. What we paid for. Let's see if that's still relevant with some new changes.
What the fuck you paid for?
Then you got the Jake Paul Rahman fight is off. Do
Somebody
you care?
too big. Not really.
Do you care? Not you. That was asked to the audience.
Yeah, whatever.
The
Let's get into
the audience. So
let's get
look,
into the
we
first
not
part of
getting
the show,
into it.
man.
Yeah, I gotta stop. I need to talk about something.
What?
Have you ever seen Jurassic Park?
Yeah, man, it's not as interesting to me as other movies, but yeah, I've seen it.
I just watched Jurassic Park yesterday.
Yeah.
The 1995 version.
Oh shit.
The beginning. I ain't never seen it. Remember, we ain't really had no TV.
You ain't never
when
seen it.
We ain't had no
Everybody seen that
TV
movie.
when we was coming up. What channels we had?
It's-
5, 7, 9, 11,
11,
13,
13,
22, 25, 28, 40, and 50. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all we had.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
we ain't really
That's it.
watching. These got to be the dumbest people.
Yeah.
In order for this movie to make, everybody had to been dumb. And guess what? In every single movie, everybody dumb as hell. I just watched the new one version, but not the newest. Jurassic World, the first one. Oh boy, they boys is stupid. Let's get into the show. I just need to put that out there and share my feelings on Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Please don't do that in real life, government. Please.
Well, here's the thing though. You look at it though. You get a massive amount of people in the same area that act stupid. So
They said Tyrannosaurus Rex wasn't exciting anymore, so they had to make a bigger one.
that sounds like society though. We do crazy shit like that.
God, boy, we trip. And they ain't had no bullet over this big. I'm like, y'all better bring out the big guns. Let's get into the show.
But hey, one thing before you say that, you get into look. Listen to this though. They got AI, artificial intelligence. All these movies on AI, artificial intelligence that go wrong, and they
Yeah,
still making artificial intelligence.
I think they succeeded. I'm pretty sure Google or somebody succeeded.
Yeah, I'm just saying they got it. You're making it. They got it. We have several movies, iRobot, that tells you shouldn't be doing this, but they still doing it. But let's get into the show, man.
Doesn't make no sense. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's get this started. Hi, somebody farted in here.
and new
So look.
bantamweight champion of the world.
Amanda Nunes
Yep.
went out there
Told them dubbed
and did the thing. She's scared
yeah.
all the betters. She the betting favorite. You know things is weird when they go out there and they start mentioning retirement.
Yeah.
Things get
She
weird. They
did.
like, look, I might
Yeah.
retire in a little bit. So
She even said before or after the first fight, she said this might be my last. She had retirement in her brain. She had to go home and think about it before she came back and said, I want to fight again. That's how much her head was already leaning towards not even fighting ever again because of that Pena fight in the first one.
So you look at this, and I was talking to somebody yesterday about literally like this, the retirement factor. We were at the bar. Don't ask me questions about MMA at the bar. Talk your head off. It's about 20 minutes. I said, damn, I need to stop talking. Ain't you got something to do? My bad. But no, it's not so much as when you mention the word retirement, but if it's on your brain and you're in this camp and you're training and you get to that point, that point where you got to grit your way with it and you're already thinking about it, you know what you say?
I quit.
Man, fuck this. I'm going home. And then you might come back and train the next day, but you don't ever push those limits. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like Juliana Pena who I'm still right in my assessment, even though the fight went the way it went, in saying that Juliana Pena won the belt, but yet she feels like she still has a chip on her shoulder.
Yeah.
Something that she needs to prove, you know? So when it comes to it, when she gets back out there, she's like, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to still train, I'm going to still bring it. And for the most part, she did. I just didn't expect Amanda Nunes. Dude, Juliana Pena showed up to fight.
Oh, yeah, she showed up.
Juliana Pena showed up to fight. You can't tell me
she did.
Juliana Pena didn't show up to fight. Now, but we're thinking we're gonna get an Amanda Nunes kind of like, you know, going through the motions. Yeah, she's elite. When you're elite, Usain Bolt could still outrun all of us right now. You see what I mean? But he ain't at the peak.
I might give him some.
Usain Bolt will smoke you.
I give
right
him a little
now.
run for his money in that first 5, you know.
Usain Bolt will smoke your ass right now. But
first 5, I catch them 2 cramps. But I'm gonna get a run for his money.
Usain Bolt at peak performance is a whole different story. I'm thinking non-peak performance Amanda Nunes is not gonna win the second fight. She come out here in a different style. She done changed stances. She doing all I said, oh, my bad.
Well, here's the thing.
You should have told me that beforehand.
So here's the thing about her changing stances, because you heard it before the fight. Pena said that when you're fighting Amanda Nunes, you know that right hand's coming, so you gotta walk through it. So Amanda was like, okay, let me lead with that bitch.
Check
and
up.
let's see if you walk through this motherfucker.
She was watching old Bruce Lee movies.
And as you see in the first 2 rounds, Juliana was bleeding that head forward, and right behind the back of her ear, that right hand was coming with that check hook. And then she done went to sleep for a second.
3 knockdowns in 1 round. 3 knockdowns in 1 round. Look, I was so entertained by this fight, even though it was a complete wash, that I ain't even remember 2 10-8 rounds. I remember the 3 knockdowns would have been a 10-8 round. I'm like, yo, this might be like, you know,
and the first round was a 2 knockdown round.
It might be 49, 46. I don't know what I was thinking. Bro, she was throwing up triangles, arm bars. She was throwing it all up, and Amanda Nunes is like, let's try it again. Let's try it again in the next round. She went and shot for but hey, that armbar was in there. Was in there.
It was in there.
I don't know from the angle that she was at. I don't know if she had it to where she could torque on it. And you know, some people, they got them double folding arms anyway.
Yeah.
So whole different story. But dude, she goes back out there, takes her down again and again.
Yeah,
and
man.
again.
It was crazy.
Oh, it was such a great fight. And it had everything in it too, and you were entertained. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
And all the grappling, you was entertained?
No, it wasn't. I wasn't just like entertained by the grappling. It was the fact of the matter is this. I knew that Juliana had an advantage, especially with the submission game. And in the first 2 rounds, you just seen Amanda Nunes just beating the hell out of her, standing up, just like putting the elbow to the face, putting right hands to the back of the ear, and it's like, just keep standing up. This is what you want to do. You want to stand up, keep standing up. So the most interesting part is when she took her down, and she's down on the ground, on the canvas for 3 rounds, and I'm sitting in the chair like, what are you doing? Get up. Just get up. What are you doing? Get up. You were beating the hell out of her. What are you doing? So that's what the most interesting part about this fight was. It's just like, hey, you going into deep waters into her advantage or more of her advantage, and you're putting your limbs out there for her to catch one, and you're going to lose this fight because you want to do something crazy. And then end result, 50-43. I tried to tell you, it wasn't no 49-46. I wanted to put that out there to the fans out there. No 49-46. I don't know what this guy was thinking.
I feel halfway. No, because look, I'm watching the fight from like I'm watching a Rocky movie at this point, right? Where I'm seeing her, she's throwing it up, she's getting close to finishing, she's doing this, she's doing that. I'm like, bruh, this, I ain't even mad because I'm no longer judging the fight as much as I'm just watching and being entertained by the fight. This is one of the most entertaining main events in probably the last 10 pay-per-views. Nah, I can't go that far. 5 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Last 5 pay-per-views.
From start to finish, though, 5 rounds. Starting to finish 5 rounds. And I don't feel like it was a dud in the first round because, usually when watching a championship fight, they usually feel each other out for more than like 3 minutes, maybe even the whole first round before they start getting a little bit more entanglement kind of deal. But especially when they go to the ground, they like be fucking each other. But
they don't.
Whatever. It just looks like it sometimes.
No, it
but
don't.
this fight right here from 2-minute mark on in the first round, it was just like, oh shit. What? Get up. Oh shit. She might finish in the first round. Oh,
they go a
shit.
chunk of her face, miss.
Yo,
they said they lost a chunk of her face. I said, lost it well. Then they said, nah, it's cool. We found the chunk. What? What?
This fight was very interesting.
Here's a question for you. We got to move on to the next topic. Does Juliana Pena deserve a trilogy fight?
Well, she's the only one in line that gives Amanda Nunes that oomph. She's the only one that like pushes her to the limit because she has an element in her game that she can get caught by. I feel like she's going to still get mauled, but if she does win, she'll win by catching Amanda Nunes with one of those right hands or that right hook and then eventually getting on her back and choking her out. So that's an opportunity for her in the next fight. But for the most part, I don't see any other fighter, especially in either of the divisions. Featherweight, there's no one in that division, but in bantamweight, I don't see anyone in that division besides Pena that can actually match up with her in a way where there's an opportunity for her to get that victory. So the third trilogy fight, yeah. And I feel like Amanda Nunes, if she gets that money that she's looking for, I feel like that third trilogy fight with Pena should be her last because there's really no one else that can really challenge her. And I don't want her to do the same thing that she did the first Pena fight, which is come in saying, oh, I got this in the bag because I'm Amanda Nunes. I don't have to train as hard. And then somebody catch her. Just go ahead and get out while she's on top.
Stacked. Are you ready for this?
Whatever.
Norma Dumont.
Yeah.
Julia Alvia.
Who the hell is that?
Lena Landsberg.
Okay.
That's third. But if you get it about 7 in an alternate universe, we have a different outlook. Aspen Ladd is knocking at the door right now. We trying to see that fight. She's still working her way back up. Irene Aldana, she was scary for a minute there. Caitlin Vieira, she just beat Miesha Tate, which Miesha Tate just lost at 125. So that kind of takes that quality win aspect of it away a little bit. But you got, say, yeah, you're right. If she wins that trilogy fight, I mean, she could go fight at 140. Never mind. Let's move on to the next topic.
Man, before we get into the next part of the show, man, we got to get into the bottom right corner, man. Stunting is a habit. Get like us. Habits365.com/trash talk BS for all your apparel. If you want to get your logo or promo in the bottom right corner, all you got to do is hit us up at
myfeetsmelllikebutt@gmail.com.
Hey, man, greatest email account ever made. Let's get into the next part of the show. UFC 277 was here. Boom. And there was some good fights on this card. I gotta say the co-main event was great. The co-main event was good. Co-main event was great because it was like a chess match. Moreno didn't look like he could solve the puzzle until all of a sudden he solved the puzzle, and then he hit him in the liver.
I thought he kicked him in. I thought everybody was like, damn, they kick him in the balls.
No,
but you could hit a slap, and then you see it when they when it hit him. I was like, oh, that's debilitating. They somebody was saying they asked me, have you ever been kicked in the liver or hit in the liver? Nope, never.
So I got a question though. If you get kicked in the liver, do you pee on yourself?
No. First off, ain't that your kidney?
I'm just saying in general, you get kicked so hard you pee on yourself. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I've been kicked hard before. I ain't pee on myself. But I'm just saying.
That's your kidney. I think it's your kidney.
I'm just saying, but you
yeah,
know,
you get hit. You know, you get hit in the kidney. They be like, he was pissing blood. But liver though, it do shut your body down.
yeah, I'm saying you shut down. You got pee. You pee.
And I ain't never been hit in the liver, and I ain't trying to ever experience that. I don't want to ever experience that. Because guess what? I've been hitting the solar plexus, and Jesus take the wheel. His name Karate Dave need me in my solar plexus. I thought I was dead. I thought it was it. I was like, damn, Lord, you gonna get me right now while I'm tired. I gotta catch my breath in heaven. Like, that's it. That's it. I don't even get to talk to you. All right, whatever, dude. But nah, I got hit in the solar plexus. So that liver shot is out there. There was another one. Maybe it's a Drew Dober fight or something. He punched. Somebody got punched in the damn chest, and he went down. I don't remember the fight. But let's talk about the Lewis fight before we run out of time. You think that was an early stoppage?
I feel like there was an early stoppage because of the way he got up so quickly. If it's one of those things where you can tell me all you want, but when I watched the replay, I didn't see no significant punch that landed to the point that would put the Black Beast on the ground, and then
he went to the ground head first,
have it for the ref to stop it. Because the reason why I say this is, and I feel like it's a direct effect of this fight was a direct effect of the championship fight or the main event fight. I saw 3 different times where Amanda Nunes punched the shit out of Juliana Pena, and you saw the lights go off and the ref give her an opportunity to recover.
But she let off the hook though. The ref didn't give her the opportunity. No, you can't convince me of that.
If you go
Juliana
back and
Pena
watch,
jumped on her
if
though.
you go back and watch the Black Beast fight, as soon as he touched the ground with his 2 hands, the ref was in between it, breaking it up, saying it's over.
He didn't touch the ground with 2 hands.
There is multiple times in that main event fight where Juliana lost all hope to the floor, and she laid there for a second and then caught herself. I'm trying to tell you, it happened.
No.
Yes.
I tried to find a picture of him, and it won't let me download it, so we can't do it because we can't show no videos. We tried to show a video one time, and we got banned for like at least 7 years. It felt like, so we're not gonna do that.
I want to talk about another fight too. The first fight on the card. I don't want to mess up his name, from Russia. What's his name?
Are you talking about Anthony Smith?
Yeah, he fought Anthony Smith. Anyway, Anthony Smith came into the fight a little bit heavier than normal because he said he wanted to make the Russian fight per se. He came in with an 18-1 record. Broke his leg in that fight. Didn't really look too good. That fight wasn't that good at itself, but for the most part, he did what he needed to do to win that fight and get his opportunity for the championship. But then there was another fight on the card, which was just as good as any other fight on the main event. I gotta say that second fight on the card was just as interesting because it was a first round finish. My man walked through him. He walked through him, got on his back, and then choked the shit out of him without getting his arm underneath the neck. Dude, he had his arm across his damn jaw, choking the shit out of him, cranking on him.
Look, that's crushing the face. That shit suck. Somebody was like, if somebody jumped on your back like that, why don't you just flop backwards and then like boom, land on your back, and then I was like, yeah, try that, see what happens. Try that and see what happens. What you gonna do? Put the choke in tighter? Hell no. I was like, if anything, I'm gonna keep standing up. You gotta hold yourself up while I'm trying to fight. You know, maybe his legs get tired. He like, nah, you just jump back. Maybe you knock him out. And I'm like, yeah, you trying to die. You trying to die. Which do a front flip at the same time, then just go ahead on and go out in style or something. I don't know.
Overall, though, I felt like this card was okay.
Grade the card. A being good, D being dookie.
I know. I give it a B minus.
B minus.
I give it a B minus because that Black Beast fight just it didn't give me what I wanted, especially it being a heavyweight fight. It didn't give me what I wanted, and we didn't see enough out of either fighter to be like, okay, I see why he won or I see why he lost. I feel like it was too early of a stoppage. I feel like he should at least let him beat the shit out of him if he did have the advantage. But you never can count out the Black Beast because he has that one punch power that can knock your ass out. So it's one of those things where he could have recovered, got up, and slapped the shit out of him. That's all I'm gonna say about that situation.
I don't know, man. He was catching some hands.
Yeah, hey, everybody caught.
So you give it a B for booty.
Pena caught some hands.
You give it a B
her face look like
for booty. That's what we gotta know. So D, Dookie. C, constipated. B, booty. A,
awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome. You can say awesome.
Awesome might fit better. I'm gonna give it a C. Because here's the thing. In order to give it a B or above, I need you to understand that UFC 277 pay-per-view, Nunes, Moreno, Kaikar, France, Louis Sergey Pavlich, right? I said the top 3 fights. Did you hear me say them?
Yeah.
We won't never mention them ever again, probably.
No, probably not. Maybe Nunes Pena fight.
Maybe Nunes Pena fight. But we're not going to talk about these fights again. Nobody's calling me to talk about these fights again. We still talking about when Conor broke his leg against Poirier.
True,
we still talking about, people still asking about that. So ain't nobody going to be asking me about this fight. So I'm going to give it a C+ because it was a good fight. Good sleeper card. You can't even call it a sleeper card. That's what it is. It's bullshit, right? Because it's a pay-per-view. Like a good sleeper card is an ESPN fight night. Like, yo, if you didn't see that, you missed it. Y'all hype this up, bro. UFC, do better. That's going to bring us to our third topic.
Before we get into the third topic, man, we want to talk about something that's coming up a little later. We got fantasy football, trash talk fantasy football coming up in the month of August. Draft coming soon. If you want to get into the trash talk fantasy football league, all you got to do is hit us up at
myfeetsmelllikebutt@gmail.com.
Hey, man, greatest email account ever made. Let's get into the next part of the show, man. You better get paid for. I guess we ain't going to get it today.
Man, so here's the thing. And I can't. I looked and I tried to confirm if, sort of like this is what's happening. I looked and I looked and I looked, and I'm not exactly sure if it is, but I'm pretty sure that it's either gotten moved or the fight is off. And that's the Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw. I look it up on Tapology, I can still see it, but I think Tapology might be, kind of late to the game whenever it's updated. If you go to ESPN.com for the co-main event, you got TBA versus TBA now. They don't got it listed on the UFC fight coming up on UFC now. So overall, I'm thinking like, that completely changes the card.
Yeah, man, because when you had a TJ Dillashaw fight against Aljamain Sterling, it gave you a bit more of like now
they all work synergistically.
Yeah,
and that's why it was such a good card, because it was like, and they're even telling us now that the Petr Yan versus O'Malley fight isn't big enough to be a co-main event yet. And
I think it is, but I understand what you're saying.
But they're looking for a co-main event, or maybe somebody didn't sign a contract and we could be back to where we are. But my times have changed in 1 week. You change one fight, you change the whole card. I'm still excited about this card, because I still got a few storylines that I can go down, but
that main event fight on 280 is going to be spectacular.
It's going to be great. But here's the thing, though,
because Charles Oliveira always shows up, but that card
can't stand by itself.
No, it cannot. It'd have been just as good if it was Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw, with the controversy in the past about what he puts in his body, Aljamain Sterling being the foe now, the adversary, the individual that people don't like, and playing up to that character. it's starting to get people wanting to see him lose kind of deal, more of a Mayweather kind of effect. And just to understand that these two individuals not only don't like each other, but there's a lot of people that don't like them too. And if you understand the fight game, if you got people that don't like you, they tune in more than the people that do like you kind of deal. So that's what made this card a lot better in my eyes, because you had a co-main event where people don't like you, and then you have a main event where there's a lot of people that like Oliveira and what he does, and it's just like he puts himself out on a limb to get caught per se in different aspects of the game or his game, because he's more of a forward kind of fighter. He's going to always push the pressure, and just knowing that in this card, it just made it more intriguing. And then without having that co-main event, it's like, well, it's like it's still good, but it could be better.
Right. And also, speaking of which, if we go and we look it up, I'm just confirming, if this happens, no, we're talking 278. That's the one we're going to run into a problem with. So never mind. I was going to compare it to August the 20th is where Usman is fighting Leon Edwards. But then there's a conflict because MVP is fighting Mike Perry on the same day. Maybe
what the fuck is BKFC doing? We got to talk about it later on.
We'll talk about that in other news. I don't know. But this card is going to stand enough, as it is. And I think they're going to flesh it out more. I think they feel a significance of a October date or something, because I don't remember them filling out cards this far ahead.
No, it's too. I thought it was too early. I thought it was way too early to put a card together just like this magnificent.
They don't fill out card like usually they don't tell us the main event until they coming out. Like, oh shit, here's The Rock and he's got the chair, JR. No, but grade this card now without Dillashaw. Let me read this to you.
I mean,
grade this card without Dillashaw. I'm gonna compare it. Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. As it stands right now, your co-main event is going to be Bilal Muhammad versus Sean Brady, because that's just the second one up. Okay. Third fight is going to be Piotr Yan versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. All right, keep that in your head. Is that better now, in reading that to you, than Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards, Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold, Jose Aldo versus Valishvili? I'm not gonna try that name. Is that better?
No.
Crazy how one fighter changed things.
It's crazy.
Hey, if y'all holding out on contract, just get your money and let's sign this so we can watch it. What else you got?
Man, I ain't got nothing else with this right here, man. Hopefully
it'll work out.
Hopefully that fight comes back together, or it goes to a different card and makes that card bigger and better than what it could be.
We talked about this, right? We talked about this last week when it was announced, and synergistically, all three of these fights that you're seeing on the screen was working together. We skipped 3 pay-per-views to talk about this card.
Yeah, that's what
we skipped 277, 78, and 79 to talk about this card.
We did.
That's wild.
And look, and now we're here.
Yeah.
And we got too excited. We
said thank you too soon. Thank you. What you thanking me for? Oh shit, this must be good. Hold up. Like, we gotta spread this out. I give you a little sample, let you keep coming. That's what it is. We out here chasing the purple dragon. That's what we doing.
Yeah.
But look,
let's get into the next part of the show, man. Before we get into it, man, we gotta talk about what's in the bottom right corner. Stunting is a habit. Get like us. Habits365.com/trash talk BS for the 10% discount on all apparel. If you want your logo promo in the bottom right corner, all you gotta do is hit us up at
my feet smell like butt at gmail.com.
Hey man, greatest email account ever made. The Paul fight is off.
So, well then, first question. Do you care?
I mean, I care because I want to see Jake Paul get beat up by a boxer. I want to see if Jake Paul
Not
is really
anymore.
and truly the individual that he states he is. Because when you fighting opponents who technically are more all around rather than just one trick ponies, as a boxer it's a one trick pony kind of deal. They might can do other things well or good, but they do something. They do that one thing very well, very good, which is boxing. So it was an opportunity for us to see Jake Paul against a boxer, and they actually sparred together beforehand. I feel like Rahman may have gotten the advantage of it because he was just trying to make Jake Paul better, and he had an opportunity to see who Jake Paul really was. So I feel like this fight was set up for Rahman, even though he had all these things set up against him to actually come in here, make that little $500,000 or $1 million, and then come out victorious and tell the whole world he ain't shit.
A milli, this got canceled for a milli, but that's cool, man. Maybe $1 million ain't what it used to be back in the day.
Shit,
$1 million liable to change my life. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It changed. I quit everything.
But also I can see how. So this is what happened though. I think this is what happened. So I didn't get to watch it yet, but just a few minutes ago, Hasim was on Fight Hub. And he was talking about the fight, probably the other aspect of it that we didn't get to see. Jake Paul released a statement, kind of talk about it a little bit. I don't really watch anything that Jake Paul puts out. I'm not going to lie to you. But here's what I'm going to speculate. It was a problem over the weight, first and foremost. And I bet some Dillashaw was happening in a sense that I did read somewhere where he had to weigh in front of the commission beforehand before they would even sign the fight. So he was at 216 not too long ago. I'm thinking he like way heavier. 216 ain't really that bad to make 200. And then I think he had to maintain losing weight throughout this time. And they said he only lost like 1 pound. But then he was asking for it to be at 205 instead of 200. And I think they were willing to compromise on that. But then he was like, nah, like 215, or maybe the miscommunication was to be 215 the next day and give him enough time to be there or something. I don't know. But as far as it goes, it sounds like they gave him ultimatums on the weight, and they took the fight. And then someone told him, like, bro, they done got you. Like, what was you doing? And so then they tried to play the game back, sort of rather like, nah, we can't make it. You got to give us 5 extra pounds. Oh, we not going to make that. Because they thinking a lot of people pull that in the regional scene sometimes. What you going to do? Cancel the show? Nah. I'm not happy. I need this. Jay Paul like, man, fuck you. We'll cancel the show.
And he did.
And so now they trying to, everybody trying to walk it back. Everybody trying to make sure the blame ain't on them as to why the fight didn't get put together. But I'm just saying, a milli, that's a 1 and 6 zeros.
6 of them.
6 of them. 500,000. First off, somebody won the Mega Millions, right? And I'm looking at the Mega Millions. I'm like, damn, all I needed was 100,000 out of it. That's all I needed. I could have done some stuff. And you talking 500,000? You talking a milli?
Yeah.
And you weighed in at 216 and had a few weeks to make 200? Y'all lying. The only thing I can think of is maybe he wasn't training when he was 216. I'm thinking he's coming from 225, 230 to make 200. That's what I'm thinking. That's a
lot.
But most boxers also don't cut a lot of weight for fights. They don't make those extreme at this point you might just call them MMA cuts, because wrestlers don't make them big cuts like that either. So they don't make those extreme cuts. But you fuck around and be 214, 213 come fight week, and you talking, 13 pounds, I can put 10 back on for the second weigh-in. You only 3 pounds off. That ain't really that sucked out. That's not the worst. Now I'm thinking he coming from like 225, got to make 200, can't wait but 210. That's sucked out. That's bad. That's why I thought they were doing to him. That's what I thought they were doing to him. But weighing in at 216, the only thing I can think is, number one, he cut weight to weigh in. So he cut a little bit of weight. So maybe he wasn't 216, maybe he was 220. And he went ahead and just did a workout, peed, stuff like that, lost a little weight to cut, but like, nah, I'm at 216. But he was really at a actual 220. I don't know. But it's weird. He thought they wasn't gonna cancel the show, and they was gonna let him get what he wanted because he signed a contract. My name is there. The fight is on. It's a week from the fight. What you gonna do? Cancel it? Fuck you then.
When you're dealing with a person like Jake Paul who already has money, he already has other avenues to make money.
Yeah.
Trying to sucker him to fighting you and getting the better of him or getting opportunity to be better in the fight, it's probably not going to work out in your favor, especially with that individual, because he's made his money without boxing. You make your money with boxing. So
he making residual money.
Yep.
He making residual money. You know how much money Jerry Seinfeld is making from Seinfeld when it was 9 seasons, it ended in what, 98 or some shit?
Yeah.
He make $110 million a year. From then until now, up to sometimes it might make 90. You know, he's broke that year. So Jake Paul probably still making YouTube money.
He definitely
off of
probably
views.
making it too. Yeah.
He probably still getting checks off of that. He probably still making he's still making fine money. I'm kidding. That's not a thing anymore. But, you know, he's still making that kind of money. And you thought that like you was going I got it. He thought he was the A side. That's what it was.
Nah, you D side, buddy.
He thought it was the A side. It's the only thing I can think of. I don't know. I'm not saying go out there and get a check and, you know, go out there and not show up or, you know, go out there. But shit, man, if you 216, that ain't that far off.
No.
16 pounds is a lot. 16 pounds is a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, was it 3 weeks? Was it 3 weeks when he signed a fight for it?
Yeah, I think so.
But right around a month. So 16 pounds is a good bit. But you got 2 weeks of training and not getting in shape before you even have to start worrying about your weight at 16 pounds over. You know, you change your diet, you still train hard, you still gonna shed a little bit. So you talking 214 going in 2 weeks before the fight, and you lost 2 pounds of fat. You lose about a pound of fat a week, something like that, unless you're doing something extreme. So you talk 214 now, in shape, against, you know, Jake Paul, who's probably in like shape. But come on now, if there was no weight restriction on it, how much more shape would you have been in for the Jake Paul for the Jake Paul fight anyway? You know, have your boys decipher, you know, what Jake Paul's doing, his tendencies and stuff. You concentrate on the weight 2 weeks out. Shit, yay. You give me, I'm not 216 now. I'm sorry, I'm not. But you give me 3 weeks to get 15 pounds off, then I feel like I can make it. And he probably got a +1. I don't know if boxing does a +1. They got to. Boxing sometimes do a +2. You know, I did a +2 one time in the fight, 175 +2. So I could come in at 177. That just gave me that little bit extra. Still was a bad weight cut. Here we are, I digress. But still, you know, I don't want to sit here and harp on the weight or anything. But for this to get canceled, you know, because you feel like you got moved on, so you try to pull a move back and it didn't work. That's the only reason why this fight got canceled. You try to move back and it didn't work. And he said, checkmate. It's over.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha. What you got now?
Man, that's all I got for that right now, man. Let's get into other news, man. First in other news I want to talk about Trash Talk Fantasy Football Leagues coming up. Month of August, we're going to have the draft for this league. If you want to get into this league, if you want to be one of those teams to try to win some money, or you want to be one of those teams to contribute to my pocket, all you got to do is hit us up at.
Hey, y'all just hit me up at my Cash App. Nah, hit me up at my feet smell like butt at gmail.com.
Hey, man, that's the greatest email account ever made. And then I want to say something before we get out of here, man. What the hell is BKSE thinking doing their event on the same night as the...
Maybe they didn't know.
I hope they did, and I hope that... UFC fucked them over. It's like, we're gonna have an event on the same night, bitch.
Maybe no, UFC can't do that. Because if they had their event first, two things would have either happened. UFC would have planned their event and said, like, well, we don't really check the calendar because we're the UFC. But if it ever got wind that the UFC planned an event to crush another event, that means that they find that event is credible, that it has some weight,
true.
which would then raise the profile of that event. So, they would never say that. The whole, or, the venue's like, yo, we could do August the 20th. And they're like, yo, you can't do no other date. And they're like, we could do August the 21st. Well, man, that's a Sunday. That could have happened too. So there's a lot of factors that could have, went into why they scheduled it, not just on a UFC fight card, but a UFC pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view, yeah. Pay-per-view.
The pay-per-view of Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards, Paulo Costa, Luke Rockhold, which, in the grand scheme of things, these are our A-list pay-per-view cards.
Yeah.
We got to consider Usman to be an A-list fighter, whether or not, we ain't heard nothing about pay-per-view buys since they put it behind the paywall and behind the curtain. So we don't know how many it's going to sell.
True.
They got to be making their money,
True.
But
now, before we get out of here, man, I want to ask you this question. Are you watching the MVP or the Kamaru Usman fight? Which one are you going to watch?
Let me tell you something about this. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Look at me, look.
Yeah.
Look at me, look.
Yeah.
2 screens, baby. 2 screens. See that? Look at me, look. Look at me, look. So that's 2 screens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that one up here, put sound up over here on this screen, and I'm going to watch, and then I'm going to go back and forth. And then I'm going to cross my fingers that they don't do the thing or they do the thing where they have the main event at the same time.
Yeah.
Who was it that waited? Canelo waited, didn't he?
Yeah. I think so.
It was like it was maybe the like a Diaz McGregor fight or something. It was a big fight. Maybe no, it could have been that far back. But it was one of those fights, and Canelo waited. So maybe they'll be nice enough to wait for me, so I can watch them both.
We'll see.
What else you got, Bobby?
Man, that's all I got, man.
Hey, look, man, it's been real.
It's always real, man.
It's been good.
Been good tonight.
But it ain't been real good.
Hey, man, never that.
Look, we're going to come back next time. We can't stay so long.
Holla.
Peace.